everybody. This is your boy AJTRIP. Welcome to the reaction of SummerSlam 2026 Night 2. I think all in all, a much better night than Night 1. Got the match of the entire card on this show, so I think it was really good. So it kicked off. It was supposed to be Finn Balor versus Sami Zayn for the number one contender for the Undisputed Championship. Well, the reinstated Nick Aldis, SmackDown General Manager, decided that it was best for business to add Gunther to the match, and Gunther returned, and he added the match. Sami Zayn was going crazy. So when Gunther gets into the ring, he says that there's another one that they're going to add to make it a fatal four-way, and it was the returning Kevin Owens. Most of you guys may remember Kevin Owens was unfortunately due out with a neck injury, a serious neck injury, back in February of 2025. He was supposed to face March. Supposed to face Randy Orton at WrestleMania 41. Did not happen. Due to the neck injury. He's been out for a long time. There's been some word about him and whether or not he's coming back or not, if he can or whatever. And recently we start hearing things. He's been on LFG like for the past, couple months of doing that show. Although that was probably taped 2 or 3 months ago. It had to be taped. It had to be taped like almost not 2 or 3 months ago. It had to be taped several months ago because there are still people on that show who were released earlier this year. So yeah, so he was on that show while he was recovering, and there was some rumors starting over the last couple of weeks to say that Kevin Owens might be back. I even heard, I even saw something that was like Kevin Owens and Randy Orton are due to be back after SummerSlam. But it's a neck injury, you never know. So, but Kevin Owens came out, and everybody was happy to see him. So, a couple shots of people, girls in particular, crying that Kevin Owens was back. So that was that was it. So it turned into a fatal four-way. Sami Zayn was shocked. While Gunther and Finn Balor are jumping on Kevin Owens, he's there in shock, and Kevin Owens dispenses of Finn and Gunther, and then he turned around and there goes Sami, and they got together and they kind of hugged, and then they do what they do best, fight each other, and they fought. It's a very good four-way. Kevin Owens also hit the stunner on Sami Zayn, was it? Yeah, I think he hit the stunner on Sami Zayn, covered him 1, 2, 3, and he is now going to be the number one contender to CM Punk's Undisputed Championship. So that'd be very interesting. I believe they have some real heat from the past. And of course they made mention of it before Kevin Owens left. When he was, CM Punk was talking to Kevin Owens on a SmackDown when they was doing the whole Cody Rhodes thing. When that was before before the Rumble and before I think that was before the Rumble, after Saturday Night's Main Event where he packaged power drive to Cody Rhodes. So yeah, that. But now we'll see where that goes and see what they do. Again, it's two baby faces. And I'm totally fine with that. I don't want CM Punk to turn heel, and Kevin Owens would be the better chance of being heel. But after coming back and having that moment like that, it's going to be hard to get people to boo Kevin Owens right now. So it's going to be a babyface versus babyface match whenever it happens. So, but Kevin Owens is back. He's a new undisputed number one contender. I gave it three and a quarter star. Oh, nice. Next was the men's U.S. title match between Trick Williams and Baron Corbin. Crowd was not into this because it didn't have any time to breed and have a story behind it. Um, and I mentioned on my predictions. I mentioned on my predictions episode that you know I thought it was a 50-50 chance. Even though I picked Trick Williams, I thought it was a 50-50 chance that Baron Corbin would walk out the United States Championship. Because why would they put Baron Corbin immediately into a championship match just to have him lose? Now I understand they did that on NXT with Naruto. Not only did he lose, he lost the other match as well. So yeah, that is that. But why would you do that to Baron Corbin just bringing him back? And yeah, so he won, put Yachty through a table in some sort of fashion, and he won, and he's now the United States champion. So yeah, again, the crowd was into this. I think I talked about this with Trick Williams. Trick is he's declined a lot since he first came up. He first came up and he was a star, and people were into him and everything like that. And they were all about the chant. I don't even know if people were chanting the song, chanting when he came out. I couldn't hear it if he was. Um, so I don't know. I think Trick is slipping down in stock right now, and I don't know what they can do to try to get him back. Um, I think one thing that it might be is to maybe stop having Lil Yachty do all his talking for him. Even though he's there and as a manager or anything like that, maybe he can stop. Does that Trick do the talk? Trick's a good talker by himself. He doesn't need Lil Yachty there. So maybe that might be it. We'll wait and see what happens. I'm sure they're probably going to do a rematch with Baron and Trick at some point, but we'll see how that goes. But yeah, I gave it 2 stars. 0. Next was the interim WWE Women's Championship ladder match, and they did have Last Legend beat Julia, which is it was. I was shocked at that. I would have thought after turning Julia Hill, babyface, excuse me, and that they would have had her, be in this one. You want to talk about somebody whose stock is falling? It's definitely Last Legend, along with Nia Jax, because they haven't been on TV that much, and they haven't um they haven't seen the tag title picture in quite a while. So I was kind of wondering, like, why would you give it this the Last Legend? But they see something in her, fine. But she was not going to win this. She just wasn't. Um, like I think what I said was it was most of them were going to be Chelsea Green, and they were going to give it to Chelsea Green because it's an interim championship. And I know everybody's excited. I'm excited to see what Chelsea's going to do with it. Um, but there is a question here, right? So Michael Hayes in season 2 of Unreal, he said that Chelsea Green wasn't the type of woman that you would put the championship on, but she's a good hand that can do everything else. And everybody, including Chelsea, got their ass on their back about that comment. But here's my thing. Yeah, yes, they put the title on her. She won the title match, but it's an interim title. First of all, how long is she going to keep it? And two, is she going to beat Rhea Ripley? Is she going to do it? I don't know because that'll be the true test. If they really wanted to give something to Chelsea Green, she would beat Rhea Ripley and become just not the interim, but just the true WWE Women's Champion, right? But I don't know if that's going to happen because if that was going to happen, then why not just strip Rhea of the title and then make this a WWE Championship match? Why? Because I think they knew what they wanted to do. They wanted to put the title on Chelsea Green, you know, and have some fun with her. So that's my story. This one was not. This other match it was okay. Not a lot of crazy bumps. They did last session choke slammed I don't say Kimberly Tiffany onto a ladder, and she kind of bounced and went off. And then they did the Money in the Bank spot reverse where Tiffany pushed Chelsea off of the ladder onto tables. Chelsea didn't push Tiffany off the ladder onto the people on the outside. So yeah, this was and then Chelsea she got stopped by the baddies. Baddies jumped in there, and then she was able to pull herself up, get back, climb up, and win the championship. So yeah, I think there you have it. Happy for. Can't wait to see what they do. But again, I think everybody who's saying, rubbing it in Michael Hayes' face, um, should probably should probably back up because she is only the interim champion. She's not the true champion. So the ladder match it was very good, 3.25 stars. His money match. I'm not rating this garbage anymore. I'm not. As someone, I don't know if I said this, in a recent That's the Shoot, or I said it on yesterday's stream, but if I didn't, I'll reiterate myself. As someone who did not want Denhausen to be in the WWE, who hated the reveal of Denhausen, who over time got turned around on Denhausen, and there's some of the stuff that he's done is actually, kind of, okay and kind of funny. You know, you know, being with the New York Knicks, Carl Anthony Towns, yeah, loved it and everything like that. But I still think he should not be wrestling. He should not be wrestling. He should not be, or if he does wrestle sparingly. He should not be on every fucking show. He should not be this big thing. Yes, he sells a lot of merch. Good for you. That doesn't mean that he needs to be on SummerSlam. It doesn't mean he needs to be on Saturday Night's Main Event. Although we know why. He was on Saturday Night's Main Event because of the whole Knicks situation. But he didn't need to be on SummerSlam. That match could have been Dominic Mysterio versus somebody else. It could have been Dominic Mysterio. It could have you know what? It could have had, some people were talking about Bailey and Lyra should have been on it. If Bailey's still with the company, it could have been Bailey and Lyra, part two. We could have had, Sol Ruka and Raquel Rodriguez in a rematch with the Intercontinental Championship. We could have had something else. Danhausen doesn't need to be on these shows. Doesn't need to be on premium live events wrestling, doing a human monies on a pole match. I barely took. I barely gave a shit about this. I definitely didn't give it no fucking rating. Yeah, I'm taking a bit of a stand with Danhausen. You know, you want to do some funny stuff on television once a week, fine. If maybe every 2 or 3 weeks you want to put them like on a Saturday night's main event, actually, no, I'm not going to say that. I say that. You know, if you want to put him on a funeral live event, fine. But again, he doesn't need to be wrestling. He doesn't. Sorry, not sorry. Excuse me. Next, the Intercontinental Championship was on the line with Penta taking on Chad Gable. Very good work here from all for these three. Loved it. Chad Gable in his Minnesota colors doing the skull chant. Got some great stuff in between these two. And Chad Gable won the Intercontinental Championship. Unbelievable. From where he came from to where he is now is insane. And that you know that Grande Americano feud was tremendous. So yeah, and he helped Chad get over, and it's some good stuff here. That was a good match. Penta had an amazing Intercontinental Championship run. Now let's see what Chad can do. I'm going to give it 3.25 stars. And then finally, the main event, the World Heavyweight Championship match, Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins. At times, this match was a bit tedious. What did Peter Griffin say about the Godfather? It insists upon itself. Yeah, I think you can kind of say that about this thing. It was insisting upon itself. I do not know if this really needed to be, you know, some of the things that they needed to do. I'm already very over all of the multiple finishers and everything like that. I'm just done with it. I really am. But it's just kind of how it is. You got all the finishers and we got all of these special spots that they do and everything like that. They somehow this match wasn't no disqualification or no count out, but somehow the referee just let them walk around into the crowd where they had blocked off like the crowd and everything like that, security all around, and they walked all around, fought all around until they came back to the ring. I can overlook Roman Reigns hitting CM Punk with a fuck is it the steel steps and referee not doing nothing about it because hey, it's WrestleMania, it's the main event. I don't want to. I don't. There should be a winner. I don't want to. I can I can deal with that. I can go along with that. Can't go along. Why did the fuck did you just not count them after they were walking? That was more than even if you gave the slowest 10 counts in in in, in wrestling history, they still should have been counted out. And it's yeah. So then and then they had a ref bump, and the ref just died. He just went and died because it's 5-10 minutes without a ref doing all of the talking and doing all of the other stuff that it is just just didn't make any sense. It really didn't. Otherwise, this match was great. The story backed it up, the passion, the stuff we get from both of these two guys was there, and it's amazing. Um, it's just insane. It's insane, like what Roman Reigns done. Roman Reigns at a main event level is peak. He is peak. He's not perfect, but he is peak. I think if you go back and you talk about people who main events, right? Who does main events, who you can count on to give the crowd what they want. Sean, Kurt, maybe The Rock. I don't know if they. I truly do not know if any of them can hang with Roman Reigns. I really don't. And I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that he's a better performer than them. But I'm not saying that he's better, bigger superstar than they are. A couple of them they are. He is. But I just mean it's like he gets these big matches, SummerSlam and WrestleMania and everything like that, and he doesn't fail at anything. Especially since he came back in 2020, and it's just insane as the tribal chief, and it's just amazing. So he's without question just one of the best of all time. There is no question about that. Again, despite the no count out brawl and some of the other standing and stealing and no killing the refs, this was a fantastic match. 4.5 stars. The match of the weekend, even with all that other stuff, that was really good. All right, so there you have it. Those are my predictions. But not my predictions. Those are my ratings for SummerSlam 2026 in the books. Speaking of my predictions, let's go back. Let's look at night one. I said Jimmy J and Jacob would win. I was wrong about that. That Influence was right. Gunther was right. Liv Morgan was right. Oprah Winfrey was right. CM Punk was right. I was 5-1 for night one. And for night two, Chad Gable, wrong about Dominic Mysterio. I had Sami Zayn. I was wrong about that. I was wrong about Trick Williams. Um, right about Chelsea Green and Roman Reigns. I was 3 for 3 there. And I don't even know if I should really give that because the match changed to a fatal four-way, but Sami Zayn was still in it, so I'll keep that one real. So I was 3-3. I was 8-4 for the weekend. And speaking of that, we probably need to seriously look at not doing any more 2-night shows. We really do. Because as much as I may disagree with a lot of the people who say that these matches were bad or they wasn't good or anything like that, I disagree with a lot of you see a lot of that. Some people say that the match was some of these matches were ass. No, listen. Yesterday the 6-woman tag match was fine. It was nothing special. Nothing special. And the U.S. title match, yes, I would admit, was lesser than was lesser than lesser than average, lesser than 5. But it wasn't horrible. But it definitely wasn't. It definitely was less than average, right? I would take the real out of that. But I kind of think maybe the fans are looking for too much. Again, they're looking for. They want bangers all up and down the card, and that's just not. That's just not how it goes. When you have a match, when you have a card that has bangers up and down the card, it's one of 3 things. One, first thing, it's an accident. It's an accident because that's not the way that goes. Yeah, you shouldn't have a match, of just bangers of bangers. You can have some good matches here and there, things like that. But yeah, that's that. Having a card full of bangers is not what that should be happening. If that happens, it's an accident. It's a happy accident, but it's an accident. Two, two, it's nothing having to do with the story. Yeah, they said fuck the story. We're just gonna do what we want to do to try and entertain the crowd. AEW. That's what that is. So, and some people were like that, but the story a lot of times is what makes the match better. It just is. Or the third thing is you've how do I put this? You've done something to where it's not really possible to have a thing a card of bangers. So I don't think that happens. It should not be that way. And again, if you have it, I think it's either because one, it's a happy accident. Two, two, you forget about telling stories and just putting on and just putting on matches you think are going to be bangers. Or three, you have decided that this shit doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's good or not. It doesn't matter if the story is or not. It just doesn't matter. So so I think if you get a wrestling card full of bangers, yeah, it's one of those. It's one of those three. And I don't think that's the way it should be. But you still can have a great night of wrestling, like tonight. Tonight was a great wrestling. Last night was a great night of wrestling. That's because again you don't have all of the bangers that you may want. Doesn't mean it wasn't great. Last night was great. Tonight was great. Glad I can tell you what it's about. Post your comments down below. Tell me what you guys think. Tell me what you guys think in the comment section. Oh, Jesus Christ. It's yeah. Okay, post your comments down below. Tell me what you guys think. Let me know down in the comment section how you guys feel about SummerSlam Night 2. Give me your reactions. What you think about my ratings. All that good stuff. Next one, I think will be. You know what? Right now, as it appears, my next rapid reaction would be Money in the Bank in October. I don't think I'm doing Heat Wave rapid reactions because it's going to be on CW and they're going to be commercials. So I don't think that I'm going to do that. I don't think we're going to do that again. So, Heat Wave is later on this month. So, but yeah, so I'll watch it, but I don't think I'll do predictions for it or I'll do a reaction for it. So. But yeah, there you have it. Like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. And as always, you guys so much for watching. This is your boy AJTRIP signing off. As always, be good to each other, y'all. Be careful out there. And I am out.